What if leaving isn't quitting? It's listening. In this episode, I share the unfiltered, deeply personal moments that led me to trust my spirit over my situation. This isn't about walking out, it's about walking in alignment. If you've ever been asking, why me? This might be your sign to ask a better question. Let's heal. Let's shift. Let's trust the green light. Lesley's lessons. I'm a dreamer. I'm a certified dreamer, doer, follow up person, resilient, all of that. I have a hard time just letting things be, especially when I feel strongly convicted. I think, I act. Sometimes I think twice more than I act, and sometimes it's the other way around. But I felt compelled to share a lesson that I learned as of late. And I felt like this could really help someone. I'll save you the backstory because I don't like to label things as trauma. But if I were to give myself grace right now, that is exactly where I am in life. Balancing trauma. And because I am an optimist, of course I want to doll up the word. But the truth is, there are real things happening in my life that have encouraged me to show up in this world in a way that I don't think I would have given myself permission to before. It's loud energetically. It's quiet vocally. I have refined power that I won't allow someone to dim my light, but it doesn't come easy. There are challenges, you know, mixed feelings, interacting with people, and you wonder, how much more do I have to do to get on the other side of success? Even if I see myself as success, even if you see yourself like where you are, sometimes it's like the things that you have dreamed about and want to accomplish just didn't quite get there yet. I'll use a perfect example. As an artist, you have to work, you have to pay bills, you have to do things. And how I do that, I make cocktails. If you're an artist, that is the greatest trade to get into bartending and make it. So I was at this new place and I knew there were red flags right away. I knew there were red flags. Why would this established hotel chain have an opening? No one leaves. But being the intuitive person that I am, I said, this is the task that needs to be accomplished, so we are going to go forward. So I didn't go in blindly. I just spiritually, mentally made a way that I would accomplish what I needed to accomplish and then take it from there. Needless to say, my gut instincts were right. From day one of the bartenders, you're not going to believe this, we shared the same name. So a little bit on the inside, but I was not going to lean into that energy. I was like, you know what? What's the flip side of this? Like, what's the positive of this? Oh, I was thinking already, before I get there, they'll call me Les, we can come up with something. So we play nice, right? And I am nice, but come on, everyone is original. We want to have our own identity. But I already was accepting I was going to share And not only that, I was going to come in with the new girl, you know, taking the back chair in the classroom energy, just a sponge and learning the ways of how things really go, right? But needless to say, things ended up being quite differently, as expected, as hoped for. Let's just say I was not welcomed. I mean, after the small pleasantries, every day, from the day one, I was isolated. She didn't want to train me. Not like I didn't know how to make drinks, but just the ways, the cocktails, how things go, how to open the bar, like what is the procedure, how to close, like what are our duties because everywhere is different. And I instantly read, I was like, maybe she's having a bad day. Let me give her space. But as time went on the very first day, she made it abundantly clear without saying it directly, I don't want you here. I mean, there were distinctions. I came in with the sunshine kind of demeanor. Hey, how are you? Ready to work? She was someone who worked there 27 years and was known, what I found out later, to be quite difficult. I did not think that someone would be on that level of difficult, but she lived up to her name. And as time went on, they were just subtle jabs and just little booby traps setting me up to fail. And then it wasn't just her, it was other people. I mean, I really had to take a step back and look like, did I say something? Did I tell them, you know, something about myself? I mean, I really didn't share, things that could be held against me because honestly, no one really asked me anything. Instead, they wanted to know, where'd you work before? How many years? Demographic things, but nothing about getting to know me. And every night I went home, it took me forever to get home. So I just say all of this to say it just never got better. And when I got home, yeah, I would have good money, but my soul was being eaten up every single day. And on top of that, like I was dealing with real life trauma, and I hated to call it that. I didn't want to call it that. The best person I've ever known, and it's still hard to talk about. Yeah, you guessed it. The inevitable, the hard for a mommy's girl to talk about. It was my time to refer to my mom in the past tense, and I still, as you can see, dance around it. And it's not because I can't say it. It's because the way I really look at it. There's these two parts. They're the realistic part when someone is no longer there in the flesh. And that's how I describe it, right? But the spiritual part, which I believe in and I don't force people to believe in, is me feeling her essence is still here. So sometimes I might have a conversation with someone who I'm close to, right? And I'll talk about her in the present tense, but not too much because this is my way of doing it. I do not look at this woman, this beam of light and strength who raised me as gone. How could I do that? And this is my way of celebrating. But the reality, the other part of it, it is a loss. It is a loss where, you know, where I was working before, super toxic, I didn't even tell people what happened. Only a few people knew. I had to process it. I couldn't see her in that way. And don't let anyone, by the way, don't let anyone tell you how to deal with loss of someone in the flesh because it is different for everyone. You might look at someone and say, "Oh, this person's got to be like fake. There's no way." No, maybe they just process things in a way that is not familiar, not the usual. And I would be on that list. And, but back to this job, it was eating away my soul. Like there were nights where it was like I know I checked off the list. Like I'm not bothering people. I just want to do my job. The person I'm trained to work with doesn't want to train me. So the second day I already initiated having my own money, my own bank, and just getting to town. And I mean, it's not about the details of that story. It's about if you who are listening ever had a difficult work situation, living situation, what have you, um, and you know that it's just lingering, it's just not going away. Um, I believe you have to listen to your inner compass, which I call also your inner green light. This is not an excuse, a get out of jail free card where you just say that, and you just said, well, I had to listen to my inner green light and quit this job. No, no, no. I believe, me personally, I believe depending on or where you are or who you are, the stage you are at in your life, not age, but the stage you are at in your life. And if you believe in a higher power and spiritual, that's my lane, right? You will receive messages and you will know what to do. At first, it will not be clear, but you'll have a gut feeling. And as time goes on, you will see that it keeps lining up. This is the way. You see that unhappiness? This is the way. And it won't go away. It's not something that someone can convince you to stay just because of the money, to stay because it is safe, to stay because it might be hard to get a job after. You have to listen to the inside because it won't go away. And I personally don't believe in something so stressful eating up your soul. I personally don't believe in something eating up your soul, that is when you make a move. I think when it tells you right away, that whisper of action, that is it. And as time continues and it grows and grows and grows, you are locked in and you know exactly what to do. I think it's good that you don't really talk about it to a lot of people. You focus on action. You know what to do. It's not getting any better. And that's it. You lock in and trust that things will work out. And believe me, like, yes, you can do, like, you look for a job, you look for this, you look for alternatives, and sometimes you just know. That's the bottom line. And I just want to talk not so much about, okay, this is about leaving a situation. It's about trusting what you do, trusting what you believe, what you feel. It's when these inner dots just kind of form together. First, it's the whisper, then it's the intellect, then it's the emotion. And they kind of form like this green light that only you can see, only you can feel. And then it's like life just keeps poking at you until you finally say, you know what? I'm going to take the leap. I don't have all the answers. I don't know if this is going to work out, but I know over there it's going to be better than here. And that's what you have to believe. I know sometimes we're like, oh, well, if my mom supports me, if my sister, if my husband, if my wife or whoever supports me, then, I'll do it. But honestly, it's about you making the decision for yourself. You can seek out wise counsel, but one day you might believe in something that your support team, your support system doesn't agree, or maybe they might be hesitant to do it themselves. And then you get in your head and then you don't take action. I am telling you, if you want a foolproof way and you want to thrive, it doesn't mean that life is not going to say, hey, we're going to throw this obstacle in the way. It doesn't mean you're being punished. It doesn't mean life hates you. Life does not hate you. But it's very important that you look at things in an optimistic way. You know, when they say, look at the glass half full, half empty, something like that, like, you just have to. I know sometimes it's like, what does being grateful, what does being thankful, optimistic, and all of this do for me? My bills are piling up. My relationship is crumbling. I hate this job. I don't feel good about the way I look or life, the clock is just ticking, tick tock. My kids don't like me, I want a baby. It's wherever you are in life. I just can tell you this. It may not look obvious right now, but I promise you the secret sauce is somewhere between following your inner green light and waking up and saying thank you and believing that all of these dots are connected in some way for my greater good. That I can tell you. It is not always easy to believe. It is not something you always want to hear. You want results. Sometimes you want vengeance. But I am promising you that is not the energy that you want, because all that's going to do, that vengeance energy, it's just going to suck you up. It's going to derail you. It's going to take you the wrong way. You will eventually get there, but it's like going down a dead end street and then there's like a pack of wolves there. Now, had you followed the GPS, you would have went the right way and avoided the pack of wolves. You know what I'm saying? Follow your inner green light. Celebrate the loss of life in your way. Take the leap and leave places that snatch your soul and think that they can do that. Don't live for validation. Believe in the value that you have right now. You're valuable right now. And don't let someone's shortcomings dictate how you respond. People will try it. They will tinker. They will tinker at your glow. They will tinker at your confidence. They will tinker at your optimism just because they can. One day, while I was just in a flow at this new job, right? The same place, one of the barbacks who I guess he works bartender sometimes, right? And, the day before, he tried to shortchange me with tips because they pool in there. So the next day I had nothing for him, right? And besides, I already gave notice. Um, I showed him, okay, that I did not need him. I barely asked for anything. And that's when he wanted to help me. And when I was in a flow, right? I mean, I was super busy because he told me from the beginning, oh, because of union, he's not allowed to do this. He's not allowed to do that. No problem. Little did he know, I can run circles around this bar, even if I don't know everything by heart. Okay? And I had a beautiful rhythm. Phones were ringing, people were standing there, like just more people were coming, and they claim like on Sundays it's a slow day. Ha! I guess the universe had something different set up for me that day, right? And I was in this beautiful rhythm. And he just came out of nowhere, mind you, he already gave me the heads up. As a barback and union rules, he's not allowed to interact with the guests, serve water, do anything to help me make my night easier, right? But here he goes talking to some of the customers that he helped the day before when he was picking up a shift as a bartender. Then he was helping them. While I'm on the phone ringing up an order and I have other orders in my head to put in the system, he cuts me off. The couple over there, they want a cheesecake. I had to say, "Can you give me a moment?" And he looked at me with shock. But it's not about the bar back. I'm just trying to tell you when you start to have your rhythm and you're feeling good and you found your flow in whatever that may be, life and people, they will try to interrupt it because they see your flow and your inner glow. You do not let them distract you. Don't play into what they're trying to do. You don't have to call it out. You simply take the high glow road. Yeah, I just made that up. But you know what I'm saying, right? High glow. You take the high glow. It's the high road and your inner glow. Um, don't give them what they want. Because whether it's a shady barback or just life, just wanting to derail your joy and your focus, you have to tell it, I'm way too focused, too committed in my dreams, my belief, my peace, my love, my health, whatever it is. That is what you focus on. Sometimes it could take a long time. Sometimes people don't get it. Sometimes they're like, look, Lesley, I could do a lot of things, but not checking that person or telling them where they can go or, you know, just whatever it is, that's not me. Okay, well, so said, so done. I didn't expect to walk in and, this job to be hell on wheels. I feel like here I am dealing with some really big things in life who these people have no idea about, right? Going in every day, smiling, just focusing on the guests and just believing that everything will work itself out for my greater good. And that's just all you have to know. You don't have to know the full plan, how you're going to do it, how it's going to get done. You just have to be committed to believing that it will work out for your greater good. And you have to be open to what that might look like. It might show up as a horrible work situation or horrible living situation, a relationship that's just not going anywhere, right? But there's something in there that you know for yourself, this will work out for my greater good. That is what you hold on to. But it's not about being passive. You must take action. Oftentimes, people say when they're really down and out or just in passing in small conversations, pray for me, and even if it's not that, it's like prayer. And listen, I absolutely believe in prayer, but I am telling you, you must take a leap. How do you know when? You will know. The dots will be there. The dots could be like the first intuition, the first inkling that you got. It'll come to you like, this is not a good situation, or this is a good situation, right? Then you'll start to see the signs. Ooh, that's a bad sign. That's a red flag. That's a green flag. What is your commitment? What is your goal? And then all of a sudden, there's more dots until it draws a picture internally, spiritually, and then it tells you what to do. I find that quiet times, times to yourself, not rushing to get back out to the world, to your routine, so to speak, who you tell your business to, and it's not even just that, it's just getting back to your routine. Sometimes these seasons in your life, they're telling you this is the new level, this is the new angle. You are no longer who you were 5 months ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 days ago. And it's all about you just owning that for yourself. No one on the outside can tell you, oh, well, you're a crappy person. Maybe you were 2 weeks ago. You're not now. You learned, you elevated, you realized what was going on, and now you've taken corrective steps. Always remember that. I know this was like a lot, like jumbled up, but it was just like, I just couldn't understand why I was working and feeling my best self, considering, well, all things considering going on in life, that, and I was showing up grateful, even with all the obstacles, transportation, the work environment, just not getting any better, but the amazing support from the managers. But it was just you knowing for yourself this is not going to work, right? But still showing up. Um, Sometimes you ask yourself, but why? I'm not messing with anyone. I'm not being mean spirited. I just don't understand. I'm just someone with goals and a good nature heart. And why? And it's like sometimes you have to pivot from that angle and just be like, okay, I don't know why. I don't need to know why. I trust that you're working everything out in my favor for the greater good. I know you're working this out in my favor. I know this is being worked out for the greater good in my favor. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it has to be that mindset. No one should have to tell you that for yourself because it won't be sustainable. It won't be sustainable. If someone has to tell you and you don't say, let me just spiritually, mentally, emotionally, you know, strengthen this muscle so I see things in the brighter side, you will always kind of fall back down flat. And then you will kind of, just like going down the wrong road, end up somewhere where you think life hates you. Life is out to get you. Life doesn't like you. And I don't want you to feel like that. I felt like that before. I felt deeply like that before, spiritually, until I realized, wait a minute, maybe we need to look at this from a different perspective. And the moment you do that, you start to see things in an optimistic way, in another way, in a better way. So I don't know who needed to hear this, but I had to share it. I had to share it with someone because someone else might be curled up on the couch or in their bed and feeling like there's nothing. What can become of this moment? Like it just feels like a trap, like there's no way out. And I just want to encourage you. You're not trapped. You just need to look at it in another way. And the moment that you do, and you trust that inner green light, life better look out. They just better look out for you. Leslie's Lessons.